United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We'll be back with you.
Good to have ya.
We might have one minor correction. What was it, Ward, on the minutes? Did you catch something?
Yeah, it should have been Rick. It should have been the vice chair instead of the chair.
Opening meeting.
We go by that standard boilerplate stuff.
Yeah. No, can we just write it down on minutes, or we don't have to have new minutes?
Yeah, we'll correct them on our side. So
I'm going to approve the agenda as printed, Mr. Chairman.
Kind of weird, any issues with my paper? No lid in it. Okay, Matt?
Second? Second. All in favor? We're going to approve the minutes of October 24th.
With the correction?
With the correction, yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
All in favor?
Aye.
General public concerns, seeing none?
And while you were gone, Rick did a fabulous job.
Well, and what, did you have good treats too on those?
No, I never got them that time. I should have, probably made that my days.
Probably. All right, this morning, the first thing we get to do is a very fun thing. We get to award Dwayne Larson for his years of service at Humboldt County. So Dwayne's out in the, Dwayne, you want to come on in? We're ready for you. So this morning we have Dwayne and his wife here with us, and it's our pleasure and privilege to present you with this plaque that says, "In appreciation for your 10 years of outstanding service to the residents of Humboldt County." And in those 12 years that I've been here, everybody's always commented how clean the restrooms and the facilities are, and I know you guys have worked hard to keep this up, and you're a part of that, so we appreciate your service. Thank you very much. And we're gonna present you this plaque. And you can't even take a picture of you, put the paper. Okay.
All right, very good. Want to take another one?
We didn't break the case.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dwayne.
For your service.
It's a pleasure working up here. Everybody in here is...
So friendly people, aren't they? Yeah, good. You bet. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your work.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, that was a warm-up for Deb. Deb, you want to come on in?
Where's my class?
We'll give you a talk
I
here.
feel like I'm at a...
You're not trying, you're step right up there.
I don't know how much or how little you guys know about Humboldt.
I informed you.
I'm sure you do. And I'll only take just a few minutes of your time. Humboldt was started in 1998 by four Rural Electric Cooperatives, and Humboldt at that time wasn't one of them, but eventually Humboldt joined, and then Humboldt changed to Midland Power, and we're up to 8 RECs right now. And our mission's always been to assist rural families, meaning your community, in-town families also, with their housing needs like home repairs and down payment assistance. And currently, we do down payment assistance, home improvement loans, community construction loans, and we have the Homeward Housing Trust Fund. And I'm basically here to discuss the Homeward Housing Trust Fund. And as of the end of September, the total dollars provided to Humboldt County through Homeward has been over $671,000. And that's with all our loan programs. And the Housing Trust Fund dollars, of that 671, Housing Trust Fund has contributed $144,000 to Humboldt County.
Wow.
And then, in 2006, you were here, and were any of the other guys here in 2006? No. Okay. Val from Homeward is no longer with Homeward, came to you guys to see if you wanted to be in a trust fund. And at that time there were 13 counties, and we've retained all but two. BV left Homeward and Hardin County left Homeward, and from what I understand, they regret doing that, so that's good. Anyway, that was in 2006, and since that time, we've received $2.6 million from the Housing Trust Fund for 11 counties, distributed in 11 counties. And I just recently, last month, applied for $283,686 for 2017. And Homeward has always provided the match, which is 25% of what we're allotted. And at this time, or this last one, it was $70,922. And each county has two representatives, and in this county, it's Jerry, of course, and Cheryl Reed are the representatives. And as of, well, there are 16 regional trust funds in the state of Iowa, and of the 16, all but 5 receive some sort of contribution from their local counties that they are part of. And since Homeward has started doing this, our financial situation has changed a little bit, and providing this match has caused our finances to be in jeopardy a little bit, and they're looking at possibly disbanding Homeward if we can't get the counties to contribute a small portion of the matching funds, which is, we're just asking for $5,000 from each of the 11 counties, and Homeward will still provide the balance of what's required for that. And if there's limited participation, we'll either dissolve or maybe find if another organization would take Homeward over. And you guys do have the option of possibly joining another trust fund, and I don't have a lot of information on where you'd go with that, but that is a possibility for you. I think we've contributed, and also part of Homeward, a lot of our funds have gone to new housing construction in town. We work with Humboldt County Housing. I think we've done probably 7 homes here just in Humboldt. We've loaned money through Homeward, not the Homeward Housing Trust Fund, but we've loaned money to the organization to build homes. Anyway, do you guys have any questions?
It's been a good program. What happened to the funding? How did it get
You know, I think salaries, number one. I mean, not that I'm expensive, but I think over the years, it's just taking the funds down. We're losing money every year, and it's eventually it'll probably be 10, 15 years, they'll eventually not have any money left. You know, and so that's kind of what's been going on. And they will be replacing me. They're supposed to be replacing me sometime here in the future. But we're looking for a commitment by January 15th, and we wouldn't need the money until January 1st of 18, so that's why I'm coming to you now. We've already provided the match and everything for next year. And with these trust fund dollars, we have 2 years to spend each year's worth, and so far, I'm out of money I'm out of the 2016 money already. It's all been, committed, yeah. So,
Part of it, they're coming to us now is to give us a heads-up warning, and when they explain the direction, you can see how quickly the funds are starting to come down. It's a good program. Part of the problem would be, if Deb is retired, say next June, and they hire somebody new, that person's going to probably want to feel a commitment that they're still viable, and she'd have a job. You'd have a good candidate apply for this job, and find out that maybe they'll run out of money and dissolve in 2 years. It would not be a good opportunity for somebody to move to, so. And it's kind of like I think what you're saying is, costs have gone up to run programs and stuff, and I don't think the funding isn't increasing any.
No.
If anything, it's probably...
Because we don't get any money we used to get a lot of our funds from federal government and
We
stuff.
aren't getting that now.
No.
So, I think the real question will be if everybody's going to participate with $5,000, it'll probably be sustained. If not, they may have to look at something different, or...
And I
If only
doubt,
half of them- And if only half of them wanna do it, you'd either have to double it, or you'd have to, maybe
Yeah.
dissolve it.
I-
That would be the next
yeah.
question.
Originally, they said if one county decides not to, we're just gonna dissolve Homer, but I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll stay, you know. And another thing Homer does provide is the staff, you know, which is a big deal to counties. You know, you don't have to have anybody running these programs and collecting the money, and,
There's a lot of people that do it.
there's a lot of reporting and stuff, but, you know.
I've known Deb all these years, she's done a very good job. She makes it easy, we only have to meet basically once or twice a year, but that being said, she's always prepared, and if you look at that last page, I think that kinda explains a little bit.
Yeah, it just kinda shows you where the funds have gone. And granted, I probably have fallen short of getting out to every county all the time to visit with the lenders and stuff. I'm more than willing, to go to banker meetings or whatever, but, and a few counties have asked me to. It's just, one person doing it is just kinda hard to get everywhere. And we're in Homeward's in 40 counties, you know, so, it's our program.
Kathy is here today, and a lot of it gets ran through Kathy because
You're
of
not-
the, income guidelines that have to be met, have to kinda come through her, so they have to work together on some of these programs.
But, anyway.
That's good that you were in for your request, we'll be looking at those in January.
And we'll get back to you guys, once we hear from you, we'll let you know by March
Okay.
if we are gonna stay, what our Homewards intention's going to be. So if they do make that determination to stay in business, they'll stick around for a while, and I don't think they'll be back asking for any more than $5,000, so.
This is looking to be an annual then, probably,
Right.
annual appropriation, once we get going.
I've heard a lot of the counties say it's just kind of a nice added tool for like Elder Bridge and, and that sort of thing.
Supplements a lot of those
Yeah.
programs work well.
They run out of money usually before I do.
Yeah, they do.
So, anyway, all right.
Okay, thanks,
Thank
Deb.
you.
Thanks for coming up.
Yep.
Here, I'll share mine. Okay, here.
Here you go. Bob. Yeah, I got one for you.
You holler, email.
I gave you mine.
You want a card? Thanks.
Okay, you put that in the request next,
Oh, okay.
She's here.
that'd be next January, you decide.
Before we go to that, Don, is there something you needed to talk to us?
Yes,
For
I-
general concerns?
I didn't hear anything about my tile that's broke
Okay.
over there.
And Rick was supposed to follow up on that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll have Trish talk to him today as soon, I don't know what happened there, but, he said he was gonna work on it, and we assumed he was, but we'll talk, have you talked to Trish at all today?
I just did, yeah.
Has she said anything more?
I got his phone number here.
Okay, give him a call, and I might call him, tell him you'd be calling on it, 'cause somebody else is calling him today too, so yeah, just call him direct and see what's
All right.
going on. Okay,
That is one hell of a mess there I've got. I haven't had any tile, I still got water, I can't get across the field even.
I'll call him
And
too.
it's never sat there all the years, and the replanting, and it's just a damn mess.
I'll call him again too and tell him.
I know there's two tile there, the one that got hooked up is blocked, and it's broken up in the field somewhere there,
Did Trish say he was gonna work on that?
yes. Rick said he was.
No, but I mean, as far as the contract, you don't know if anything's been assigned to it, do you? Contractor?
Roger Schoen has done work
Okay.
for me before, and I was gonna give him, I'm gonna fix it one way or the other, I'm not expecting something for nothing. I think what the hell was tore up should be fixed.
Right,
Mhm.
right, they want that. I'll call Rick, tell him you're gonna be calling him,
Okay.
let him know.
Yeah, there's
The
no,
intake there, I took the Guinness bucket and I got dirt up around it so that it can, but why that wasn't moved 200 yards to put in the fence line instead of farm around the rest of your life, was just a mess. Thanks, fellas.
All right, I'll call Rick and tell him.
Thank you.
you're talking to him.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
yeah, I mean, he's on the list, but he doesn't have anybody assigned to the job yet.
Okay, I'll talk to Trish.
If that's the same broken tile, which I'm sure it probably is.
Well, if
Do
it's...
they have to talk to the contractor
it's-
first?
It's not
Give him the
him.
first opportunity to be
He
legal,
said he
I
had
think
somebody
you
that
do.
did his tile work, I'd just have Tricia
I'll talk to Trish and Rick both after that. Do you have something for us, Kathy, quick? Go ahead. Do you have a quarter report? No.
No.
General assistance?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that, see.
Okay.
Paul can wait 5 minutes, he's gathered his thoughts there.
No, I wanted to hear Homeward, so. that's
I thought it was
down
probably...
early. Yeah.
Don't wanna take pictures. Get a little grabby here.
Thank you.
Well, obviously behind on getting down with general assistance reports. You know, can kind of echo some of the concerns Deb said, you know, programs administratively have a lot of paperwork burdens, and we've been a little inundated the past 6 to 9 months with all the managed care things in our office, and so
Yeah,
we've just
short-handed.
been taking care of people and, monitoring these on the monthly reports to make sure that we're staying within budget. There, for third quarter, 16, and fourth quarter 16, really no, out of the ordinary, expenditures or requests there, payments for our contribution to UDMO, rent and utility payments, made out during those quarters to individuals who qualified for assistance. Give you a minute just to look at those.
Transactions add up quick.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. For first quarter 17, rent and utility payments were made out to individuals who qualified. We have, over the past, I mean, which will be reflected in the second quarter report, obviously, but we have seen, you know, pretty significant amount of individuals. They're kind of caught between that period of time where, you know, they could, start to get light heat assistance and have kind of maxed out their ability to pay. So the last, month or so have been fairly busy with applicants and those things. So, but yeah, nothing concerning, nothing out of the ordinary. We're staying within budget and kind of right on track, so.
Filling in the gaps where we can.
Yep, filling where we can.
They get higher, more requests over the winter months.
No, generally, we see it kind of at the beginning and end, kind of that
Okay.
time period when people are going to be applying for light heat assistance, and they can't get that going yet, and also then as they're coming off,
Mm-hmm.
that seems to be the times where we have a more significant, request volume as far as utilities, rent payments, that just kind of varies, but those are usually about the two highest areas.
Okay, any questions regarding? Not entertain a motion to approve the quarterly reports for the third and fourth quarters of 15-16 and the first quarter of 16-17.
So moved.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Oh, okay. All three of them. All right, Paul, you are up.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just one agendized, portion or topic to deal with this morning, and it's approve an invoice from Webster County for Humboldt County Sheriff Box Culvert Project number L-07011-73-94 located along 280. It's between Xenia and York. That would be along the county line, just a mile off of Wright County. It's right at about 1.5 miles from Wright County, this is exact. This was a project where Webster County was the lead county. I submitted to you the last pay voucher and half of the right-of-way, so we have a total of $38,903 that we owe on this project. And I recommend its approval. It was programmed, we've had it jointly programmed for a number of years, and they included it with one of their 10 bid or 8 bid at once.
We gotta lump them all together, do we?
They did, this time, and they bid them all at the same time, but I don't know that they had them grouped, not all 8 at once.
Oh, okay.
But they had, I believe, similar projects groups, because, the contractor on this project was Midwest, and, they did a few of them and then moved out to Wright County, then came back to Humboldt County, and now they're back in Webster again, I believe.
I move we approve the invoice as presented to us for Webster County payment reimbursement.
Motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any other questions for Paul on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
That must be pretty close to where the hub confinement, or hub operation's going in, south of, right, south of Eagle Grove and...
Oh, yeah, this is just south of the Eagle Blacktop, yeah. It's a mile and a half off of Wright County, so it's just in the second mile. What is it, 35 or 31? I gotta think which way they should know. But it's right down there in the corner of the county. It's a no snow removal road for Webster County, but it's got a box culvert on it now. It's previously been like a 12-ton bridge or something.
It's a no snow removal for Webster County.
Yeah, they got a lot of them down there. Good chunk of them are all no snow
It's
removal.
half our road, so how's that work?
'Cause it's their road for maintenance
For maintenance,
responsibilities, it's their road, on our maintenance agreement with Webster County, so.
Okay.
There's a good chunk of those northeast of Vincent north of Vincent and north of Badger. There's a big chunk of roads out there. Well, they have 70-some miles of no snow removal. Right now, we're doing the scramble a little this morning. We're trying to maintain a crew on core outs, in the Hardy area somewhere. Meanwhile, Grout Scout showed up this morning, so we're trying to haul them water and keep them going. We're starting with them with cleanouts. We have, several pipes that, before they can do any maintenance to them, they need to be blown out, and, a couple of them that they're gonna start with are on Pine Avenue, up there where we cleaned in both sides.
Glad they're doing that.
Yep, that's why we have them doing it. Those are easy ones because it's cleaned out on both sides, we know where the locates are. Trying to keep the mowers running, they're trying to mow, winter keeps creeping up on us. We completed some seeding, we used, most of the seed that we have, and we're debating on whether or not we feed mice all winter, or we wait and make sure we got some decent weather before we load up on more seed. Spraying, since we met, we've quit, we sprayed all of what we bought for chemicals, pretty well filled the holes, so that between last year and this year, everything has been covered at least once. We started, with last year's maps and said, here, spray something other than what we did. EC source driveways, most of that's complete. I know they struggled or didn't finish one because when they got there, the band was all dinged up, and they moved to another one. Otherwise, EC source did a pretty good job removing everything except the pipe. We're trying to keep the EC source driveways, get them done, trying to keep core outs going. Meanwhile, we have foremen that want to put snow fence up and haul sand for winter. And I said, oh boy, we got a good week, let's keep going. We may haul sand, we may mix at Humboldt here, but the scheduling, Grout Scouts, we need to keep them going. They're paid by the hour, so we need to have enough staff with them to keep them moving. So we'll pull some of what we were gonna do and keep them as a priority and go from there.
Very good.
You bet.
Paul, did you talk to anybody, Steve Stein, by chance, on that
Yes,
corner out there?
yes.
And?
and he's considering a couple different options. The first option that I would propose to him is the county buy right away from him and remove the one whole row of trees on the east and the west, the outside row. This whole thing next down to a 66-foot right-of-way from the 50s when it was graded, and the trees were already on the plans in the 50s. That would be our goal, is to acquire right-of-way. If we can't acquire right-of-way, what trees will he allow us to move to open it up? And the trees are already on the plan in the 50s, so those old junipers are...
Well, that corner is just, you gotta creep out there so far, and with the traffic, with that quarry being over there now, there's just...
We would love to be able to buy the right-of-way some, and part of the reason, there was a full fence line and a well that's close to right-of-way there. And when they graded it in 1966, they left the 66, and that's part of what's killing us. The similar situation is up here on 200 and 169.
Yeah.
With new owners there, we're trying to work with the DOT, is trying to see what they can do to widen their right-of-way, because if the DOT could get some on 169, I'd like to try to have us buy some on the 200 going east on the north side for a similar deal.
I hold out of there. From that direction, it's a dangerous corner too.
Try getting combines through there.
Well,
Scare the crap out of you.
And from our perspective, both of them are
Sticks out.
safety issues and snow removal. The corners are terrible for snow and water. That and up there is flat. This one at least has some drainage out here. But, I talked to Mr. Stein on Thursday afternoon, and he was going to take a walk through, and see what he thought he could live with. And I encouraged him to call me and I'd meet him and see what we can do. I don't know what a reasonable number is, but we never bought it 60 years ago, and that doesn't mean we shouldn't buy it now.
But even if we don't buy it, it'd be nice to get the trees down.
Right, but the problem is Mr. Stein's there now, and the short term,
trees.
the next guy that goes in, moves in, just exactly what happened up in that corner. They cleaned the whole corner up, and the next people who bought it went and brought those bushes and planted them right at the right-of-way.
Can you get an easement to allow you to go in there and cut those trees out if you can't buy it?
Well, most of what we have is easement out there now, and we could extend the easement or buy it by deed, and if we could limit, I told him he's in the driver's seat. Ultimately, we would like to try to buy on either one of these is buy right away, and whatever we could get, up to that point would be a benefit and a great improvement from what we got.
so by us buying, we have the ability to say nothing can get planted in there.
That's it.
And then
Then,
I'm scared to death of that something, I mean, as much, I'd hate to see what the traffic count is on that road with that quarry over there and all the trucks cutting across there trying to get down to the ethanol. That road is huge, and I'd hate to see something happen.
No, we're working to try to remedy that. He's got a bunch of trees he's cut in the whole acreage himself that he's been trying to wait for the right timing to burn, but he got too late and too close to fall, so he couldn't do it.
Right.
And whatever, albeit, I tell you right up front, I said we would like to work something out where we, up to buy it, push the trees right across the road in your other lot where you already have a pile, push all your trees that you got in the pile, and let you burn it there. That would be our, negotiation, be the best for us. Right, because we could get rid of the trees, go right across the road with them.
So it's his idea, yeah.
Hot dog roast on a weekend, we could have a big bonfire.
Boy, that would be a big one. And they would go, the interest with those, it would be a flash burn, and then it'd settle down with all those old junipers. But any location like that is, if we have opportunities to buy it now, just because we didn't acquire it in 1962 when we graded it, doesn't mean.
Is it good now?
And there's some places we should probably sell back, but these are places we need it.
All right, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Committee reports, Rick.
Okay. See, Wednesday morning, I went out to Bradgate, North Bradgate, to look at a hog facility that, is under question. I know Melody and Carl went out Tuesday, but I was busy, I couldn't make it, so I went out on Wednesday. Thursday, Humboldt County Housing met at 3:00. I talked to them, they still got, is it 2 homes for sale, Carl? Talked about those and future projects. Eagle Ridge is getting sold out, so they're looking at getting some more paving done up there and get more lots available up there. And then at 5:30, I came in on Thursday for the interview process for replacing Dwayne, which is gonna be tough, but I think we had some good candidates. That's all I had.
The 25th, we met with, Melody Larson and Carl and, look at a drainage on hold set up for a dog, north of Bradgate there. I'll let them talk on that a little bit, but, the 26th, Citizens Advisory in Cherokee. They got a lot of retirements, so they're people that are still working, they haven't hired all of them back yet, and they're staying real busy. They have 4 people that did all their snow removal, and all 4 of them have retired, so they're gonna have a green crew doing it this year. The RN department had 15 RNs have retired or moved to different places, and so they've had to replace them. The average length of stay for a child over there is 7 days, which that isn't really a long time, I didn't think, but I guess that was all I had.
Monday, the 24th, we were supposed to have our building families, but Michelle decided it was time to have her baby, so she had, her baby, and we canceled the meeting. The 25th, we had our Edmo, poly call over at Eagle Grove. Unfortunately, Eagle Grove's internet was down, so we listened to it over a speakerphone, and it was not so good, but what we caught of it, we got to be part of. So Thursday, there was, my meeting in Webster City with CFR. Got the booklet for the annual report for the year. I think some of the numbers in here are almost staggering to think of what they're doing down there. They served 3,149 people in the areas of drug, alcohol, and substance abuse. They're in their process of kicking off the campaign to hopefully start building down there. Molly, the ones that you guys, you went down and visited with her, they're very confident that we can raise the money. Hopefully be able to, I'll let you look at some of these, see where Humboldt stacks up. I think the number one thing was, in the last couple of years, the marijuana, alcohol, and the meth use in this area has, kind of been a third. And last year, alcohol had dropped a little bit, and probably the marijuana and the meth there was, on the rise, which any one of the three is not good. I guess the number one goal would be to get them all under one roof down there. The facility would be an awesome facility for this part of the state. Hopefully next year or so, we're gonna know how we're gonna get it done. So I'll give you this, and I have your audit, Peggy, so copy of it. That's all I did.
Very good. I think I followed the rest of you guys around on Tuesday morning. we was up looking where the prospective hog setup for Iowa Select was going. I think Melanie will probably tell us some more about that pretty soon. Tuesday afternoon, we had a daycare meeting. Money's coming in, but it's in form of pledges, and we need cash flow right now. So we're talking about some alternative ways to borrow some money, maybe get the thing dug. We gotta get it going, because there's great need out there, and we just keep spinning our wheels. Then on Thursday, Rick and I was at the housing meeting, Rick talked about that a little bit. And then Thursday night, we interviewed candidates for the custodian. We have a recommendation to make, once we get the drug screen done.
Well, comment on your daycare. One of our renters had to leave town because she couldn't find daycare for her kid. She went to a different community where she could find daycare.
Happens a lot.
It does happen, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Peggy, I had a CSS meeting in Wright County this last week, October 26th, 10 o'clock, at the County Social Service Board room, for they have the old bank building, that's in Clarion there. They took that over, and they have all their services out of there, their Board of Health, all their programs are run out of there now. It's kind of a unique building, it's very accessible. They kind of remodeled that when they bought that, put a little money into it, but it's called the Wright County Professional Building, I guess. Anyway, we had a nice meeting, and we had good attendance. It was nice. I think everybody was there this time. From the 22 counties, we went over the usual business. One thing of interest to me is they're looking at putting a autism facility in Fort Dodge, and I'm real excited about that. A few years ago, they came to us with a request for some money to start the program in Opportunity Village. They took us on a tour there, and when you see what autism is and what issues and the care and the need there is to help those children, I mean, I just had to believe that was gonna be a good investment, and in the end, they were able to recruit a husband-wife psychiatrist out of that deal, and they wanna expand this program in Fort Dodge. It's probably gonna take $350,000 to $400,000 to do it, but I'll tell you what, I think it's money well spent, when you can help these kids, and I don't know, it's just, look, these are some things county social services do that aren't, necessarily the ordinary things that we have to do, but it's things that we're willing to fund aside from the commitments we have to make. And I think anytime you can better your community by helping others, I think it's a great opportunity to do so. So, kinda like daycare, there's needs for all these things.
Peggy, I missed one meeting too. Wednesday night, we had a Midas meeting. And most of the time there was spent on the new Fed laws, whereby if you have a salaried person making less than $40.75, they have to do time and hour and wage and pay overtime. That's really impacting a lot of Midas people. It's gonna impact daycare, it's gonna impact schools.
Impact a lot of things.
A lot of things gonna happen. Probably gonna impact some of our employees here in this.
We checked, we're okay.
Okay?
We're still okay.
We offer comp time to most everyone, so.
We talked down there of giving 40 hours comp time, up to 40 hours, and have to go ahead and pay time and a half. No more than 40 hours, you wouldn't have everybody be out when you need them work.
And we went through our usual business, and we're doing well. I mean, we're well under our budget. We're gonna be meeting the executive committee, between myself and the vice president and treasurer, secretary. We'll be meeting with Bob here, before our November meeting to go over his programs for the next year, and then we'll be also reviewing our levy, which, I think we'll be able to stay where we're at. I don't know if we'll be able to lower it any, but we did lower it considerably a year ago, so that, we're in that $35 range, so I think we'll be able to maintain that, and still provide the programs that we're doing, and some new start money for different programs, so. It's kind of an interesting board. I mean, it really is nice, because there's 22, it is fun because there's 22 counties, and you get some varying opinions from different regions, but the health issue, the mental health problems, and all these problems are everywhere, they're all similar, but what's nice about this region now is things that we have in our county or assets that we're sharing with other counties, and I think a lot of these facilities are gaining trust in the way the region is working, so
Do we have a great disparity of those 23 counties on the levy?
There was 2 or 3 that were below it. A couple of them would like, they'd be more than willing to match the levy. I mean, we're not too bad. I think there's just 2 left that are under, And the ones that are over are all down to that levy now, so, I don't know, they've talked about getting that rectified, so everybody could be at the same levy, but there's other agencies that are fighting that a little bit, so, to make that change.
Different parts of the state, there's real disparity.
Yeah,
And
we're fortunate, because we're general, our region is similar. I think you get in the southern area, you're gonna use quite a bit.
Some of them are low, don't wanna have equalization, because they wanna stay low.
Right, that's the problem.
And again, that's one of ISAC's top
Right.
priorities for
I know
this
it.
year,
I
is to
know
try
it.
to get that formula changed.
I know it.
We have a meeting,
It doesn't seem like it should be that hard, but it's been a push.
Well,
But they said it was close last year, so it has a chance to maybe...
And really, the two counties that we have, I know one of them, I can't remember which supervisor name, but he said, he'd be more than willing, he understands fully that it should be equal, he had no problem with it, so.
we got a meeting in late November with Farm Bureau in Des Moines, because they're fighting it, because they don't want it equalized, because they're gonna go to property tax, they think. So,
They don't understand how
No.
it could save them
we're
money.
gonna try to twist their tail and see if they change their
Sometimes
mind.
you gotta communicate more. That's all I had. Anything else that you have, Peggy, for us?
Just wanted to, let's see, what did I want to bring up? We have a wheelchair down in the basement that we let people use, who come to the courthouse that are disabled and don't have a wheelchair of their own. And I noticed last week when somebody was using it, when they came to vote, it's ripped on the side. So I would like to get another, I think this one was a used one when it was donated to us, I'd like to get another used one, if that's all right with you guys.
That's a good deal.
Would be all right?
Yeah, that's it, that'd be good.
no,
Also, Brian Rickless and Melody have put together an active shooter incident for us for December 7th. We would like to close the courthouse at noon because we don't want the general public in here to scare somebody when it's going on. I mean, we know it's there. The doors would be locked at noon, the employees would leave at noon, go have lunch, come back at 1, and it would start at 1. And everybody has to be wanted in when they come back in. But we wanted to get your okay because we'll have to get a notice in the newspaper.
It's a little time.
Yeah.
I think it'd be good.
Yep, that's good.
I think it would. And any of you that want to be present for that are certainly welcome to come up and see, how, I mean, we've been taught what we need to do, and, but in a panic situation, yeah, let's see how it works. So, Rick, I think, is this the invoice that we wanted to discuss with the LEC board? I was trying to remember. And then while he's looking at that, Jerry, I wanted to make sure and let you know, I got your ISAC Fall School canceled.
Okay,
And they refund everything but $25 for processing fees.
Okay.
So we got it all back. So I deposited that check for you. We received from FEMA, Jerry got a copy and I did too, about the flood maps. They are having public hearings on those, and then they're gonna do the flood hazard determination. It's a 90-day appeal period. I don't know who would even look at these, if it would be Melody, or it would be Paul, or, but somebody probably needs to check the maps and make sure, like Brigade, where are they covered on these? and-
That would go in with my hazard mitigation that I'm doing.
Okay, so do we wanna give a copy of this? These are both the same, and if I keep one, then Melody could have the other one. And then,
you might share with Paul, so you'll just run it by him, so you know.
I think-
I
Does that
think
include
somebody
the-
needed to.
Does that include the new maps, is that what, when we replaced Renwick's
Okay,
equipment, would that come out of the LEC?
Yeah.
So we probably got to but I think the one thing we had to discuss was the, for the server room, the air conditioner, I think is what it was.
okay, that's what I wanted.
The cooling, keeping the server room cool
Report.
down there, I got an estimate of about $6,800 to have it installed. This guy, that's what this product was designed for, he says that's what I use in these server rooms.
They gotta keep it cool.
And when I visited with Peggy about it, she has asked me, is that equipment or is that building? Because it's equipment,
Oh,
it's
sure.
part LEC,
Sure.
so... Could be building. That's kinda what I thought, it's air conditioner, it's really not something you take out when you leave, you know?
No.
So... So we have one similar to that out in the parking lot, in that tower, building out there? Yeah, that one has its own little... Yeah.
Remember how cool that was when we stepped in there that day when they showed it to us? Man,
Yeah.
it has to stay cool.
Yeah, I gotta get it cool, so, we're gonna discuss that at our next LEC meeting, give them the
get that put in.
Mel?
Okay, well, just try to run down yet.
No, we're good.
Melanie may address this too, but we received the official, notice that the Bay Finisher Farm has been issued a permit. And this is your, the 14 days have gone past, so there's officially,
Yes,
there's documentation for it, but I thought I should let you know. And then my last thing is, on our cafeteria comp or our flex pay plan, before we've had a $2,500 limit on it, that has been changed, to $2,550 for the 2016 year. Or no, the IRS bumped it up to 2,600, I'm sorry. So they're wondering if we want to leave ours at 2,500, if we want to jump it up to 2,600. That's the maximum an employee can claim during a calendar year on their flex plan. So they wanted us to let them know as soon as possible. Your feelings, do you have any objections?
Each employee still have an option to take what they wanted, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, some
So
only...
if somebody needed it, you don't reason not to bump
Not
it
many
up.
take the full.
Yeah.
Yeah, not many take full.
I think it's mass state even with the current.
Can I see it, Jerry?
You bet, you sure can.
All right, I will let them know this is okay. And that's all.
Is that the one over on Birch? Where's
Well, that's Watuska
Thanks, Peggy.
Township.
All right, now,
Section 34.
Oh, yeah.
You guys did some work on this one.
No, I have a present for you.
Goes with my jacket.
It sure does.
Mile north, or
Thought it'd be something nasty, didn't you?
I thought it would be
Yeah,
red.
right on that curve.
On that curve.
Yeah.
No, that's not the one, it's 34, section 34.
Is that the one Dodging?
Is that a new one?
That's a new one.
No, this
What's the
is
new?
the final on the Bay Finisher Farm.
That'd be Dodging, the way he's old.
No, not Bay. Bay would be, isn't that
Where
Odison?
is it? Where
Yeah,
is it?
Yeah, Bay is the
It says on
Odison
there,
one.
it says-
The Elmer then.
No,
What's it called?
Brookdale is,
No, this
Brookdale,
says Bay Finisher Farm.
like, can I see it a second?
They said they sent a copy to you, so I assumed you had it.
Oh, this is the three. This is the three new ones. This is over on 140th.
3 in one location.
It's out in the middle of the field. I mean, when we went up there, we couldn't find any, yeah, so that one's
Yeah, and
fine.
it's already gone through you guys, and
Yep,
you're okay.
yep, that one's fine.
All right, what do you got for us now?
Well,
There you go. Take another peek at it.
what we have is a 30-day extension on this. Cindy granted it. And bottom line is what we've gotta come down to is finding a happy medium. When we, and this part of it's my fault, is not understanding how to score the matrices. When we denied the Elmer Finishing Farm, we denied it on water quality, the fact that they were going to spread manure right by Bradgate.
Correct.
DNR denied it, actually. On number 4, they took out 40 points, which put them below by 5 points. So what Iowa Select did was in turn, they turned around and they took out number 6 instead, which gave them 10 points, so it put them over by 5 points. I came up with these this morning. I had the gals down at the recorder office come up with the original manure management plan.
Oh, you found it, huh?
They did find them, yeah, and it's still 520 acres. So, I mean, regardless from the original building to this building, there's enough acres to spread the manure. I still don't think it's unreasonable to ask them to spread the manure other than right around Bradgate. I don't see Mr. Kretschmer doing that. He's not a very pleasant person to deal with. So I think that's kind of mute. Basically, what we got the 30-day extension on was, since DNR had denied it, we get to put a provision in how that open waterway is closed up. Since Mr. Zog does not own that, it's a whole different landowner, we have to have that landowner's, number one, consent and his approval on how to close that up. so it doesn't affect the tiling and the work that he's already done on his land.
Is that hole in the ground that you showed us that picture before?
Yes.
Was that an intake at one time, or did the tile just collapse there?
It looks to me like it's just the tin whistle that's been bent up.
And, the way it looks
I went out
in
and
the
walked
picture.
through it, but it's still a matter of the open ditch.
It's an open waterway. DNR considers it an open waterway.
Yeah, 'cause it's...
They deemed it that.
It runs, I don't know, 300-400 yards down through the field, through this grass waterway, and then into the county's road ditch. Then it goes into like maybe a 21-inch tile underneath the road and then disappears.
So, I'm
It's
kind of
a
taking
bad
myself out of it.
situation, 'cause if there's a spill when they're loading...
It's downhill. It's gonna go...
It's straight downhill, and it's not very far. It's, 150 feet.
Bad situation right now, even if you don't
It
put
is.
up another...
I don't know how the building got built the first time.
1996 or 206.
206, and this is the only paper trail that I could find of it. Kinda give you, I don't know, these don't really give you...
Well, that aerial photo shows you real well how close it is.
So, okay, so we're facing, I'm north, okay? This is the original building, this is where they're putting the new one in. So if you go across, right here, and when Adam Schaefer did his measurement, he stood right on this, right on the tin part, and he measured right where the corner of the new building was gonna go, and it wasn't even 60 feet.
Really?
Mhm. So that's why, and, you know, the question came up, so how did they get the original building there?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Somebody has some oversight on that.
Well, then,
Well-
when did they decide to move the building to the other end? To the east of the current building?
That's where it's always been. It's always been on the east side.
That's what
That's gotta be
staked
more
out.
than 60 feet, 'cause I was out there, but...
I don't
I
know,
think
that's where he
it's probably 60
measured.
It's probably 60 feet to the current building.
This is, yeah,
That
it
makes
looks like
sense,
that.
okay.
To the
That's
current
right, That's
building.
what that's showing,
Yeah.
60 feet from here to here.
But it's still not within that, because on number 4, it's like 500 feet. It's well underneath, that's why DNR denied that.
Yeah.
So, my purpose of coming up here last week and talking to the board was that I'm an extension of you guys, being who the landowner is across the road. I felt like it was a conversation that you guys needed to have with him, so everybody's on the same board, and I think Rick has had a few conversations with the landowner, and...
The landowner is not opposed to the hog building being built if the water situation is taken care of. But he is not gonna spend his money to change that for the benefit of his neighbor. If his neighbor and the hog facility can provide him written documentation, what needs to
Prior
be
to.
done, what it's gonna cost, what the project will look like when it's done, and if it meets his satisfaction, he would okay it. But
If not, then he
if
would-
not, he wants it all documented,
Well, you would surely want to document
rather than just talk
and record it.
and record and all this stuff.
That's understandable.
Because he doesn't want his current waterways, you know, he's got a lot of nice grass waterways put in that he doesn't want damaged.
Right.
And I
There's no
can,
real, there's no
I can see
benefit to him.
I can see a problem there, they don't have the elevation to put a tile in. Because the
No.
water, where the tile goes under the road is too shallow.
Too shallow.
They'd have to put a tile and then put an earthen mound over the top of the tile to put it in a tile.
And he's put a lot of money into private tiling on his land as it is, and depending on how this is done, it could very well back up his.
Yeah, he's worried about that too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So how are you gonna proceed then, no?
Well, see, that's way in here, the 30-day extension that we got is so that you guys can come up with a provision. So there's your provision, is what that landowner wants.
Mhm.
That's your provision. So that's what you're gonna have to put in writing, and then Peggy will have to let Cindy Garza know at DNR.
So why don't you work with Rick on that? He seems to have knowledge with the landowner and go from there.
Yeah, and he can write up
30 days
how,
goes by really fast.
yeah,
Yeah.
It does.
okay.
And we just was granted, see, Friday was the end of the 60 days, so she just granted it, Thursday
Well, I think the
afternoon,
landowner of the
so...
waterway is being very generous to consider.
Yes, he is.
There's not a whole lot that he would have to do.
He could just say no.
I don't want him
Yeah, that's the thing. He could just, it could be dead in the water right now where he could just say, nope, I'm done. But he is being open to
He's
this.
very, very old, whoever, I don't even know what it is, he's very old now.
In the long run, maybe that improve his drainage situation though. A better tile outlet.
Well, it probably won't hurt it, but, you know, if he's got if he's got a waterway that's functioning well, it's
Yeah.
all that he needs.
And he's already put a lot of money
What I hear
into
from
private
Rick is
tiling to
that
get it to where it's at.
I mean, it wouldn't hit our way.
I don't know how
If they do
it-
it correctly.
If they do it correctly,
It's just amazing
yeah.
how the first one got put in there, is what.
That's what shocked me, how did that first building get
That's
put
the real
in?
question.
See, the thing is, when they're, and we're back to that, if it's under the head unit, all they
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
do is do, you know, that initial, they have to file this, in the manure management, and that's how it got in. I mean, I absolutely have no paper trail of
Everything
it.
was new and everybody wasn't questioning a lot of it.
Yeah, and this was 2006, so the
There was
manure
no
management
manure
agreement,
management plan or
2005,
nothing
but,
put in for
like I
that.
said, there's
Yeah, she
520
has the
acres.
water management plan.
That's
She did
all
find
she
it.
has.
You know, it takes 160 per building, which there's
Usually
plenty.
it's the company's,
I'm just frustrated in the fact
application
that he won't bend and move the manure somewhere
Well,
else.
basically, they're gonna put it on the poorest quality ground, or the ground that needs the most help first. And
Yeah.
once it gets to a point, they'll use the other acres.
You know, if it's less than 2,800 head, that's.
But to be a good neighbor, if he knows that a town is struggling with their water,
Right, right.
you know.
He could choose to do this.
he could choose to do different, and,
Okay, you two work on that.
okay, I'm gone the next 2 days for classes.
I'm gonna be gone Tuesday, so that'll be fine, we can do it Wednesday.
I'm gone Tuesday and Wednesday both.
Okay.
I've got classes in Des Moines.
Well, we gotta get the written,
Yeah.
note from owner. I'll talk to him, he can get working on that.
If he can get working on it, then we can go from there.
At the
Mhm.
end of the week or something.
Yeah, then we can get it on the agenda for next week, hopefully.
Okay,
Okay.
sound good? Thank you, guys.
Anything else, guys?
Bruce called me the other day, we're talking about last week when we got the sheet out of all of the work that isn't done in drainage. I don't think this is pertains to drainage anyway, but, and, it's already out here. Yeah, it was, I knew I had it out. And, you know, here we are now back into tiling season. And then we get into hard freeze, and then nothing else gets done till next year again. And we're looking at, how do we get this list smaller? That's our concerns, it's 'cause, you know, we get calls all the time, and it just grows.
It never is really gonna level off, because it's always been doing replacement.
Right.
And that's basically what goes on here.
And I'm sure there's lots of them out there that aren't reported. It just, we had that just discussion last week, if there's anything we could do to, get it shorter, put it that way. It wouldn't be bad if we had a dozen things on there, but we got 2 dozen.
Even if we just kept whittling away, you're always gonna have the incoming, but just keep whittling away at the old stuff doesn't seem to ever move.
Mhm. And so a lot of it is due to the fact that it's in the middle of the field. People don't want, you know, they're not too excited about having someone come out there with an excavator and a dump truck and fix it and fill in the hole, and, so we just discussed different options as to what we could do. We mentioned maybe we could get someone else interested working for the county, but we haven't heard anything. So, at one time, I visited with Paul a year ago about this. And I talked to Paul, I said, you know, we got a lot of employees in secondary roads that are getting close to retirement age. Why don't we look at hiring a couple people to just fix tiles? And use the county's equipment, go out and then bill it back to the drainage districts, so it doesn't cost secondary roads. We get a couple of guys into the system, they get used to running the county's equipment. That way when people retire, we just move them into secondary roads if our list gets shorter. That was my thought at the time. Paul's comment was, he said, not too often you have a supervisor come and say, let's hire a couple of new guys. And, you know, he says, our first concern is the roads, not the tiles. that's why I said, let's look at maybe hiring a couple people to do it. And that's where the conversation ended there, and, we did have the meeting with them last year, we did get some more work done this summer, but it just keeps growing. I was wondering what your guys' thoughts are.
And I'll just throw this in, I visited the other night at, our UDMO meeting in Eagle Grove with a couple of the supervisors over there and asked them, I said, do you guys have this same issue? And Rick Rasmussen said, well, we have a guy over here that, you know, fairly aggressive, and I get ahold of him and tell him we got this and this and this, and he seems to be able to do it. So, I got the phone number, and hopefully we're gonna at least throw it out there. I gave it to Trish this morning, this guy from Clarion. But anyway, you know, I'm not trying to pull anybody out of any work. Henniger? Henniger, yeah, Dan Henniger from Clarion. And I don't think anybody's trying to pull any work from Humboldt County people. But by the same token, I know that everybody is busy doing other things that they've already committed to.
Yeah.
As soon as they're done, committed to that, then they'll come back to, and then we're sitting here still with a list of...
We're already pulling Brandon Meyer out of...
Yeah, that's
already.
Yeah.
I mean, we just aren't able to do it internally, there's just no way we can get them all.
And, you know, I know Gary Jensen's been busy busting up the stuff over there at the UBC to move the building to...
Well, and he's been busy with personal issues.
Right.
You know, and then you've got, Barcel went into, tiling expanded, so he's gonna be limited in the...
Well, I mean, these guys aren't sitting in the coffee shop drinking
No,
coffee, they're working.
we appreciate everything they're doing.
Peach, you know, they're into this boring for this, so they...
Exactly.
Well, the problem is, these aren't real high dollar money makers, because you're a lot of travel time, a lot of expense looking at things. That's the issue, but they still need to be corrected.
Don't you have the same thing with Rick, you're in building projects, building program. If you wanna get something done at your house right now, you have a 2-year wait before you get some carpenter to come work with you. We just have a shortage of cheap personnel.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
So this number would be worth a try. I mean, maybe some opening there. I mean, just come up, otherwise you come up with something different, I guess. But Patterson's were good too, you know, but it seems like they're more limited to what they're wanting to do too. It's just, there's not a lot of new young people getting involved in this field, and that's kind of what's hurting a little bit.
No, it's not easy work either, get down in the ditch and scoop mud to fix the tile, you know,
And with, you know, farmers are meticulous, a lot of them just really don't want it, they'd almost look at it until fall or spring, I mean, they don't want it during...
well, when they combine and go around it, that's when you get the call, because they look down, oh, geez, that hole's gotten bigger.
You know, we talked last week, this list, and some of them are fairly old. Maybe when we add things to that list, we ought to say, okay, if it's still on there a year from now, we're gonna get somebody who take your name off and put another on there.
But we've tried that though, Carl.
Doesn't work?
It's so hard to, everybody's...
They'd be glad to get involved, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't
Well,
know.
the one out here on, west of town, out across from Monk's old hog site there, Dennis Goodell said 2 years ago it was the size of a pickup box. I walked out and looked at it, and it looked like some of it had fallen in. Well, that dirt is getting sucked into our tile. So, you know, if we don't get it fixed pretty soon, or at least cut and cover it to see how big it really is, you know, you get that 3 to 4 inch rain,
And the other problem...
that water's all running into that big hole.
The other problem that's developed, a lot of farmers used to know somebody that did work, and they had a little pole with them, and they could get it in, but it don't seem like anybody's got that pole anymore. So, I mean, it's changed, there's just less people available.
Yeah, that's a lot of it, there's less contractors doing this job.
I mean, if you're to the point you can justify hiring somebody to do that, then we have to bring somebody on just for that, if it continues to get worse, you know. I mean, you'd have to sit down with Paul and kind of figure out, you know, I mean, the beauty of what Rick's saying is, you could, this guy, what he's not doing tiling, like in the dead of winter, he could be moving snow, maybe there's advantages to do
Well,
that.
Paul's always looking for part-time help
And
for
we're having
moving
a hard time
snow.
getting that, too.
So I thought, well, in the wintertime, they could be secondary road employees.
And a little what Rick's saying is correct, because if you went out and hired two people that were compatible, could work, and you know the job description say you're gonna be doing tiling, I mean, it isn't nothing misleading.
No, you ain't gonna get a guy who's got a bad back, 'cause he
No.
knows he's gonna be in a hole
So if
shoveling
you were to
dirt.
advertise that way, you're not advertising the secondary road snow removal, that would be your main job, and that would be your secondary job. And he's right, if they got working in the system, and we get these retirements, and for some reason we didn't have a need for it, they could be absorbed into the system, because there'll be people retiring in the next 5 years. I'm sure, several of them.
So would we be
No, I
in
think we need to have a
agreement
discussion with Paul.
pursue that?
No, I think we need to have a work session with Paul sometime. Maybe the first part of December, get in there and have a work session with him.
And also gotta look at the availability of equipment.
Right, we don't have to go out and buy a whole line of equipment, and plus you have a way to bill it, plus you have a way to pay the wage,
It's a little bookkeeping
yeah.
involved there.
But you'd have your own private repair people, and,
Mhm.
you know, right or wrong, you should be able to, I mean, you shouldn't be defending anybody that...
No, 'cause there's a cost to repairing this, no matter who does it.
Right, right,
We just need to get the projects done.
right.
Well, I'm all for trying to move forward on it. I guess that would be my, just 2 cents worth, and hope to whittle away at the list.
Well, maybe a couple of us can talk, I mean, I think it's something we could do, like in December, and then you could see, you know, if it's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's, right now, it'd be hard to hire, I mean,
Well, it's too late in the
yeah,
season,
it's way late in the season now, but...
but it'd be something we could have set up and running for next year.
Between now and December, you know, and see how far out we're going and stuff.
Mhm.
Okay. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I might have something else. Oh, no, I don't.
I wasn't making sure.
Might have.
Save it for next week. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.